Hello, my name is Naufal Akram and my partner
Abidzar. We are from Fatih Bilingual Senior High School.
Garbage as a pollutant in the environmental causes various problems such as soil pollution. For example, a leachate. Leachate which is full of dangerous metal. One of them is cadmium. Cadmium is categorized as one of the dangerous metal for living things.
Kiambang is taken as the main Fitoremediator in Lambreng. Kiambang will be cleaned first, then arranged into a constructed wetland.
We are now at the vinyl disposal site to collect the leachate. We will take 90 liters of leachate. This part is when the process of leachate extraction.
Our objective, first, to analyze the effectiveness of phytoremediation method using a constructed wetland system with Kiambang or Pistia Stratiotes L in reducing cadmium metal concentration in the Kampung Jawa final disposal site. Second, analyzing change in the concentration of cadmium metal in the leachate pond at the Kampung Jawa final disposal site during the experimental period. And the last, observe the condition of the Kiambang constructed wetland during the experimental period on change in cadmium metal concentration in the Kampung Jawa final disposal site.
This is part of the process in making a constructed wetland prototype. In the lowest layer, we put gravel 5 cm deep, then sand with a layer height of 3 cm, and on the top layer of soil 3 cm height. Then, one prototype was placed with 10 pistia and another prototype was placed with 20 pistia. Now we are in the Baristan laboratory to measure cadmium levels using a device called a visible UV spectrometer. So, we will put the cadmium sample into the cuvette and also the water from phytoremediation using Kiambang and constructed wetland. In addition to measuring the concentration of cadmium, we also measure other indicators such as the pH of the water using litmus and also the total suspended solids from the water produced by phytoremediation. The results we got from this study include a progressive decrease in cadmium levels in leachate. In addition, the pH value of the water becomes neutral, and there is a decrease in suspended solids, which indicates the water clarity is getting better.
After we conducted the phytoremediation using constructed wetland system, we bring the sample to the environmental laboratory in Baristan. Then, as we can see in this result, there is a decrease in the cadmium level through the effect of phytoremediation using Kiambang with constructed wetland system.
The results from total suspended solid test. In this research, we use total suspended solids, conclude that how clear the sample from leachate in the Kampung Jawa final disposal sites after the phytoremediation using constructed wetland. The formulation from this test is final weight minus initial weight, then we multiplied by the coefficient, then we divided by the volume of the sample. As we can see from this graph, there is a decrease in suspended solids from our sample. That means that our sample is more clear than the first one. And as we can see, the red dots means that is the point in the first cadmium levels, and there is decrease after we put more and more volume from the sample. And as we can see from this table that there is the quantitatively decreasing suspended solids from our sample, and we can compare it to the lowest level from this table, that is the pure cadmium levels. The pH test. From this study, we compared the pH from the first prototype and the second prototype. After we use the litmus paper from the interval of our study, conclude that there is no differentiation between the first prototype and the second prototype, but there is a decrease on the pH number from both of the prototype, as we can see from these two graphs. The conclusion that we can take from this research is, first, there was a decrease in cadmium levels after implementation of phytoremediation using Kiambang with a constructed wetland system. Secondly, it is clearly seen that there is a differentiation between the two mockup, our hypothesized to be influenced by the differentiation between the two quantity of the Kiambang. And thirdly, there is the formation of pH neutrality during the day interval of the phytoremediation study using Kiambang with the constructed wetland system, but there is no differentiation of pH neutrality between the two mockup. And fourth, there was a comprehensive increase in water clarity after the implementation of the total suspended solids with the differentiation of the volume from the sample. And the last, phytoremediation that has been created and worked during this research can literally be said to be effective in reducing cadmium levels, water clarity, and pH for the benefit of the general public. And that is our presentation from this study. Lastly, we could say thank you for your appreciations. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.